I've been waiting 2 weeks to get to this. Tossing, turning, unable to sleep at night. Alas, we are finally back. But more importantly, we could talk this out. Was Bob Saget murdered by someone he owed money by being hit over the head with a baseball bat?
I don't know. Jack seems to still think it was a drug overdose and that he was addicted to cocaine. I think it's a little sketchy because what are they not doing? They're like not releasing the details of the autopsy or something.
So basically, we went from him dying peacefully in his sleep, like, the rumor mill on social media, to he hit his head and went to sleep. And then his eye sockets were broken. And it was consistent with basically being hit with a baseball bat. And it's like, okay, wait a second. What? And yeah, so it came out, middle of the night. I see him trending, and it was the only point he was trending at. And it was basically, as you were alluding to, the family's like, no, we're not releasing shit, which again is totally fine. That's respectful to them. But if you don't want, can we get some closure here? He was America's dad, and it was kind of, Danny Tanner, he's just gone, and we have no answers, which again, if it's bad, obviously you're not going to want to release that, but that gets people thinking.
No, that's super sketchy that his head was damaged that bad and his eye sockets.
I've never heard of anything like that.
Neither have I. Maybe he took a joke too far or something, making fun of someone. Where he was, wasn't he in Vegas?
No, he was at, they found him in the hotel my dad worked at when we lived in Orlando. And it's a sick hotel. So
the Ritz.
Yeah. And so I don't know how someone could get in there with a bat, but
well, that's the other thing is he was locked, he was locked inside or something. So if something nefarious had to have happened, it was like someone climbing the balcony, almost like the Pink Panther or a caper or something, which, a little bit far-fetched.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I hope the details come out soon. I'd like to see, because clearly something was going on if he was that fucked up in his head.
Right. And I'm not here to judge. I just want to know, I feel like it's unsolved.
Yeah.
Dylan, I'm switching laptops real quick. Will you let me in on the other one?
Yes, gotcha. Yes. Good stuff seamlessly here. Well, it's a perfect transition here because we got to talk about this. Nelk interviews Trump.
Mm-hmm.
What were your guys' thoughts? This was from 2 weeks ago, and there's a lot to unpack here.
I honestly didn't even listen to the full thing, but from what I heard, Trump just kind of took over and just kind of talked about what he wanted to for the most part. I heard Steve kind of just sat in the corner and didn't really say much.
He didn't say a word.
But that's ridiculous that YouTube took it off.
Yeah, so basically Austin sends me this, and it took me a couple minutes to process. The supporters banging at my door here. I was like, holy shit. It's oh my God, what a get. It's oh my God. And then, yeah, I'm watching it, and I had to skip through it. It was the most boring interview ever. Just literally, just imagine guys just kind of in awe of Trump, and they're just asking the most benign things ever. And Trump wasn't even saying anything ridiculous. He was just kind of just spewing the usual shit. It's all right, we've heard all this before. Yeah, YouTube deleting it. And that's why it's brilliant of Trump, is because he can be the martyr guy. He can be the stick it to the man guy, where it's and he brilliantly just totally used Trump and last year, Nelk and then Barstool last year to just get in front of an audience that doesn't even care about politics, don't even know about politics, and just kind of say what he wants. But yeah, I literally thought it was the most boring interview ever.
Well, I mean, did he say? Oh, go ahead, Jack.
I just thought it was pretty funny just because the way he talks, I think is super funny. Just how he's they ask him about Putin. He's like, oh no, we're great friends. And I listened to it. So I didn't even know Steve was there the whole time until Austin told me that after.
It was funny.
I don't understand. What was YouTube's premise for taking it off? False information?
I think they were worried of what it was going to do. Just it was at 5 million views, and they literally just kind of, I don't know why they deleted it. Cause they're Trump's under, that's what was crazy, was that that was his first appearance. He circumvented a ban basically, which is kind of fucked. It's like, okay, he gets banned, but he's just trying to get people to forget. He comes up and yucks it up with the Nelk Boys, and it's just like, no, I wasn't trying to overthrow our government or anything.
What I did think was pretty funny was at the end, because they said, we heard you've been DJing parties at Mar-a-Lago, and they asked him his go-to song, and he said the YMCA really gets the people going. Imagine him up there going like.
My favorite is like, Trump is so good at this. They'll be like, hey, Mr. President, we're so, God, we're in awe. It's this crazy. He goes, oh, yes, you guys do great work. You guys, I'm a big fan. He's just a big fan of everyone. You guys do great work. Very popular. He has no fucking clue who these guys are. Someone just tells him, you should fucking do this.
It's like, Dana said, you're fine young men, fine young men.
That was weak. Yeah. So that was, Nelk, it was crazy. I watched that video, and I haven't watched too many Nelk videos, but they were just like, hey, we're about to talk to a whole new audience, and they got 5 million views of I can only imagine like a 70-year-old Trump supporter just being like, huh? What are they doing here on YouTube?
And then they got into some beef with Jimmy Kimmel because he called him out on his show about it. And he's like some small YouTube channel, and they started going off because I guess Jimmy Kimmel's views compared to theirs are like, they get way more. And then
dude, who is watching late night TV anymore? That's a losing battle. And
then they were trying to troll Jimmy Kimmel, like cancel him, because he used to be on this show called it's called The Dude Show or something, where like him and this dude would do skits with like girls dressed in skimpy outfits around him.
Oh yeah. There we go. The media wars. Alex, welcome. What's going on? Perfect time. We're getting rid of the tough subject matter here first, since we're 2 weeks off. The Amazon, which, miss me with jungles. I think we've talked about that, might change to a grassland over time, just due to climate change. Probably not in our lifetime, but that's kind of what you're seeing. And that's like, good God, that's probably hype for wildebeest, but just think about all the jungle creatures that are going to get fucked by that.
So what's happening to all the trees? Like wildfires?
I think wildfire. Yeah, Alex, you got some insight here?
Yeah, just kind of quick Google was the Amazon is actually losing its ability to recover from disturbances like droughts or fires or anything. So I guess that's kind of where my knowledge of it all kind of turns. But yeah, essentially it says then this will be replaced by grasslands after that, which is even worse to think about, after that is desert. Like the Sahara Desert's been growing for years. So
I actually saw there was a video literally either yesterday, I saw snow ski slopes in France got a dusting of sand from the Sahara Desert or something. So it was literally snow that people were skiing on. It was crazy.
Which will just ruin your board.
Yeah, literally just destroy it. How is Como, Alex? You settled back in?
So yeah, I'm at the Lake of the Ozarks. So anyone who's a fan of Ozark, feel free to reach out. I could tell you all about what it's like being a local down here now.
There you go.
But driving to and from Columbia, Missouri, I have already done the drive through campus, kind of see everything. I got Shakespeare's Pizza, which was fire. So yeah, it's been good. It's been fun. As anyone who's gone through a move across states, changing jobs, that has been typical, a little stressful figuring it all out, but everything feels good. Everything feels right. My heart's happy. Got to go fishing last week, some more Missourian type stuff, getting out in the boonies, but all good for my end.
So you're living in the Ozarks, but your job is in Como, right? So do you make that drive every day?
Yeah, so for the time being, I'm going to be making that. And the main reason I'm living here is, as you guys might remember for the Mizzou students, everything's like a 12-month lease there. And it's triple, if not 5 times the price to get anything temporary. So as I was talking to my parents, I was like, yeah, that's the hardest thing I'm trying to put together. And they're like, how about you just live at the lake until you feel comfortable with, if you want to buy a house, if you want to rent, whatever you want to do. So, I'm 2 weeks deep, and so far it's not so bad other than gas prices. So,
yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah. Bad time to have to pick up that commute. You could be at a worse spot though, in the Lake of the Ozarks. So that's a nice spot. I can only imagine scenic. So I just got back from Florida, and it's kind of ties in here. We saw some gators. Like, good God, there was a 10-footer crazy, and they were basically talking about that's probably the line, because like the Lake of the Ozarks, I don't think has gators, but they were saying, and this is in Florida, any fresh water, just kind of like body of water, you have to expect there's a gator in it. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm good on bodies of water now. You
know what exists here is have you heard of the gar?
Mm-mm.
All right,
No.
Here, I'll pull it up here. But the gar, GAR. It's like, I guess think of it as or I guess I
always got freaked out by the Ozarks when we're tubing, we're fucking blitzing beers. You don't think about it, but if I was ass sober in the Ozarks, I'm kind of just like, is there a fucking water stake near me? Like shit like that freaks me out.
So my cove is considered a snake cove because there's so much like in the back of it, and you'll be water paddleboarding around, and you'll come up against snakes. Like I've already had to kill one of them, and fucker got away from me, so now he's on the loose.
He's coming back for vengeance.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, but as I'm trying to figure out if it's like poisonous or not, the thing scurries off and under the house, and I'm like, oh, this is great. But yeah, so the gar here, I'm about to share my screen.
I know what the gar is.
Are we?
So yeah, they're pretty like harmless in reality, but so this is like,
oh, okay,
for anyone who's not aware, this is considered like one of the most prehistoric animals in our nation, I believe. I don't know about worldly, but as you can see, these things just got these razor teeth. Yeah, they
long snout, razor teeth.
Are they like a relative of the alligator?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's gator or what's it, croc? I don't know which one.
That says alligator gar.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
So it's basically like they're harmless, but just you don't want to kind of catch them on a bad day or bother them.
Well, so like when we were kids, my friend's dad was like, you could see him eating, like feeding at night, and they're wild. But he's like, I bet one of you one of you kids $20 to go jump on them. And so like we jumped on them, and yeah, they don't want to mess with us like a lot of things, but if you do catch one in like the right area, it could take your finger for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Christ.
Fuck that.
And these get long too.
And yeah, no, I'll show you. There's these, and so I've actually, you'll be wakeboarding or sea doing or something like that, and like these things will jump out the water, and it freaks you out. But at the end of the day, it's just like any other thing. Like the snakes, like they don't want to mess with you.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of fish jumping out of water, we went to this, my dad's birthday, 75, we get to do something he wants, and we go, sightsee, the most boring, drive through a nature preserve ever. The only thing, the fish that like jump out of water, they look like a dunce. They're just kind of like jumping out of water looking funny. But what do I have there? Oh, the last thing that scares me about, my brother went to the ocean, and I'm not on the body of water thing. We're good. Get me in a pool, get me a drink in my hand. Rip currents. Dude, that scares the shit out of me. How it's just like you could just be swimming in the ocean, tides change, moon gravitational pulls, and you're all of a sudden, trying not to tire yourself out as you're being ripped away from the beach.
I know some of you guys have like messed around down in the Merrimack a little bit or like whatnot. We're Missouri boys.
Yeah, great point.
But like, have you guys ever gotten taken with a current? Because only once for me, and it wasn't scary, but I just noticed I was within like a few seconds, I was like 30 feet down the river, and I'm like, oh,
yeah, that was on a float trip,
right? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean that's happened to me before. It can definitely be a little scary for sure. But I would say like the ocean doesn't really scare me as long as I'm like somewhat near the beach
and it's crowded and like there's people in the water. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You speaking of float trips, there was that one time where like I don't know, we're all speaking of float trips, you're inebriated, we'll have a friend that remains nameless who may or may not have been on acid, and like all of a sudden no one pays attention, it's like half our group is away from us, and it's like what the hell's happening, and no one realizes the severity of that.
Well, that's the issue. Like something like the Merrimack is, if you're that under the influence, it makes it that much more dangerous too.
Oh yeah. And sure. I get freaked out about snakes in there too. I'm just a fucking wuss.
I mean,
you guys,
even the ocean, if you have some dumb friends, like Schwimmer at high school, Grant Zellers was very inebriated, and we turned around and he's like yards away at this buoy out in the middle of the ocean, and these parents are screaming because like me and his parents don't go. And I'm like, dude, you better get back here. And I'm like, I'm not going out to get him. And he finally came.
Dude, well, I was down there during spring break time, but we were in like an old person island kind of. So we were aside from that, but I saw the reports in Fort Lauderdale that spring breakers were just keeling over because people were just lacing shit with fentanyl. And it's like, good God, man. It's like, you're in college. Like it's not even worth it doing blow anymore. If you're still interested in doing that. I think it's like so dangerous, especially if you're going to a goddamn like spring break town or something. If you're looking for it from sketchy people, I guess.
It's weird. It's crazy. You just hear about it more and more nowadays. People dying of that shit.
And so I'm getting to my recommendation for the week early because it ties in. Dope Sick, which we may or may not have talked about. It's fantastic. Like it's and it just kind of showed how there was the crack epidemic. And then there was the oxy epidemic. And then once that kind of ran its course, then people went even cheaper. And then now it's the heroin. It's just crazy how, you can't stop it. People are just going to eventually find drugs for something to relieve their various pain.
What's that on?
It's on Hulu. It's a fantastic miniseries, 7 or 8 episodes, I believe.
Which reminds me, I need to catch up with Brennan and Jack probably this week on what we're watching, because that died quickly in my move.
You know what I want to watch next is the new Jackass. It's on Paramount Plus now.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
I've heard it's very funny.
I went to see the Batman last night, if we want to get to that.
Yes. How'd you like it?
Really, really good. Not great. And here's why. All right.
Really?
Visually incredible. Stunning. Like it was like a Batman or a movie I hadn't seen. It was the cinematography was great. Excellent cast. There were some goofy action scenes when he's got the Batmobile and he flies over the burning truck. Like it was kind of like, bro, really? And I get that they're doing the PG-13 thing, and the action was really cool with Batman, but the punches almost sounded like cartoonish. It was like kapuk, it was like a fucking Looney Tunes thing. It was an 8 out of 10 for me. It was cool being back in the theater for the first time since coronavirus, and we were in the luxury kind of chairs and whatever, bring your food to your seat. I would have enjoyed it better at home. It would have been a 9 out of 10 at home. I had to pee the entire time. I don't know what it is.
You're lucky because they're already putting it on HBO on April 19th.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, sweet, I don't have to go buy a ticket.
See, I would wait then. I didn't realize it was coming out that soon. I was like, shit, I'll bite. Let's go see it. Because someone, a lot of people text me saying, oh, it's sick. And it was awesome. I want to rewatch the Christopher Nolan Batmans now and kind of compare the two.
Mm-hmm. I think they're pretty different Batmans for sure. I think I said this the last episode when we talked about it, that like the Dark Knight trilogy is more about Bruce Wayne himself, and the new Batman is more about like just the Batman, not so much Bruce Wayne.
I didn't even understand the ending, but I thought it was cool that it was like he was almost in charge of the cops, and like still crime was getting worse. It was interesting. Did you guys see the 100-year-old shipwreck found near Antarctica 2 weeks ago, frozen in the ice?
No.
I saw an article for it, but I didn't look into it at all.
I just thought it was fascinating. It might be boring to some, but it was basically like, well, first of all, just 100 years ago, that was the age of exploration. People are, now it's like we could travel all these places, but people are still trying to figure out, hey, what's at the bottom of the earth, what's south of us, etc. And it was like apparently a famous shipwreck. Like, is an explorer still a profitable? Is that a profit? Are people occupationally an explorer still? Yeah, so it was frozen in ice, and this was 100-year-old ship, and it like preserved itself.
How did they just now find this?
It was like a determined group of researchers that were like, all right, we kind of think it was like what, a 90-mile radius, and they kind of just used deep water satellites, and they're like, oh, we did find it, according to our intelligence. And it was, I mean,
dude,
was
wild.
Shit.
They said 1915. That's wild.
Bro, just look how far technology has gone.
Well, and like it's probably so cold that like the bacteria and stuff doesn't move or exist there, because like
exactly
that's
right.
so well preserved. Like other shit's like barnacles all over it.
No, it was fascinating. I couldn't imagine. I bet hella people had scurvy on that shit. Okay, last couple things here from me. The video I sent, and I encourage you to search it if you find this funny. The dude whose tombstone is literally a PS4.
Yes.
Oh, I saw that. That thing went hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, put me out like that.
Should we low-key start a tombstone company? Because that could catch on. Like,
Yeah.
hey, what's your favorite item? We'll make it your tombstone.
Yeah. I mean,
we're too young to be discussing this, but it got me thinking, what's your ideal tombstone looking like? Are you going balls out to kind of announce yourself to the cemetery? Like, are you just getting your own mausoleum like Doghouse?
I am.
Yes.
Mine would be my Twitter handle or my favorite tweet.
Yeah, you got to put on something there. He was like, died drinking, died happy.
It made me immediately think that too, though, Dylan. I was like, all right, what would I get now? And I haven't come up with it, but definitely on the list of things to figure out.
Would that be a dark day or an exciting day? You're just like, you're just like shit. You're in Florida. Like, all right, let's pick out tombstones.
Let's design our tombstones.
Yeah,
I think it'd be kind of exciting, as long as you're not like, as long as you don't know you're like terminally ill and you're gonna die in here.
As long as you're not like comatose in a hospital. Yeah, if you're just like, let's get this out of the way.
Yeah,
it's whatever you make it.
It's like when people buy their coffins. I don't get that. It's hard for me to process that, but one day, hopefully, I don't have to pick mine out. But
yeah, no kidding.
So, will you guys have you thought about this? Like whether you'll choose to be buried, or like, for example, my grandma is choosing to be like cremated.
Great question. I used to be like, this was such a kid thing. I used to be like, I was like, is getting burned alive gonna hurt? But you're dead. So, but it's just like, I'd probably go ashes. I don't want worms crawling in my body and shit.
Absolutely. I have thought about that as well.
I don't mind getting cremated. Like, I don't really have a preference, and it's so like, this sounds really kind of bad because it shouldn't matter, but like, it's so expensive to bury someone versus burning them.
Well, that's something I didn't realize. So that's a good point to bring up. Here's something that, we don't have to think about that, but dog owners do. And I've thought about, and it's like, what am I going to, I'm probably just going to have an urn in my house. Just like, got to do something. Maybe they're collars, and, I got 3 fucking kids over here and the dog pound over here.
Good suggestion. One of my previous managers, he's got like a bracelet, and it's got like basically a little bead, and he just put some of the ashes like in the bead, I guess, or something like that. And it's nothing special. It just looks like any other bracelet, but I was like, that's a good one. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, good method.
Yeah.
To each his own. Yeah. But that's a long way for all of us. You can wrestle as Logan Paul and Aiden Ross in the new WWE video game. Who's buying?
Do they deserve it?
Maybe Logan Paul. I've seen rumored that like he's been on there a couple times. I think he does get the crowd going. He gets it. He's obviously a big dude who was boxed, right? Boxed.
Okay.
Could be.
My thing is like, no, I feel like no young kids watch the WWE anymore. So that's got to be like a grab to get a younger
Smart play by them. Who was into WWE? Because I never really was, but I had friends that were hardcore, and then it's like the 10 years above us, right?
The popular ones were like The Rock, The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Rey Mysterio, the little Mexican dude.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the guy? I don't know if you guys are into South Park. He was recently on a South Park episode, but it's like I couldn't even do it, but he's got long hair. I'm describing all of them. But there's some guy recently, they kind of tried to portray him in South Park, and it's just
is it Seth Rollins, maybe?
I'll look him up.
Well, Logan Paul, at least, I'm pretty sure Logan Paul was like a state wrestler in high school. So he at least wrestles. But Aiden Ross is a little like fucking pipsqueak. Like,
I just saw I saw Speed was like he was live streaming him wrestling as Aiden Ross, the video game. Like it was funny as fuck. But yeah, it's like wrestling still trends every night it's on, and I just like it still does big. You know, it has its audience and it's loyal.
Dude, I got cousins who live in the boonies of Illinois, like. And they're into it. Like they'll
they'll go to
that's like their spring break. Like they're like, we're going to WrestleMania, like instead of Disney World or something.
I used to be pretty into. I saw The Rock fight at a WWE event. It was awesome.
That's pretty sick. Yeah. Well, this is
Randy
like
Savage. That's supposed to be Randy Savage.
Yeah. So that guy, good episode by the way of South Park, but he's been like everywhere on my feed lately because because
of Leah Thomas.
Yeah, I saw something like of his like back in the day WWE stuff, and then I saw the South Park like right after that, and I was like, oh, they portrayed him really well.
It's such a we don't want to have to touch this topic with a 10-foot pole, but it is really just like it's like God, we want to be inclusive, but when it literally is like, you know, a male transgender female who is just dusting girls in swimming, it's kind of just like, well, this isn't fair. But yeah, that's obviously like South Park called it, you know. It's almost like, hey, here's what's gonna happen. Is she abusing it? Probably not, but you know, people are gonna weaponize that, which is a tough scenario.
Yeah, the girl who got second or didn't get into the tournament because of that whole thing wrote a letter about it.
Right.
Twitter suspended her account today.
That's ridiculous. It's great. It's kind of suspect how they're able to do that. It's like, okay, yeah, some people deserve that, but then it's like, where's the line? Because they could just do it to whatever. But hey, it's their app.
Yeah, we'll basically be watching. I think that's going to be a few years of developing in our society. Like, yeah,
that'll be the next war to argue about. You can't argue about this though. The Supreme Burberry collab, fire. That shit was fire.
Really? I didn't see it.
Maybe pull us up. Yeah, pull something up, dude. Wait a second. I brought props today. Burberry scarf. You like this shit?
Yeah, I do. I like high fashion. I don't know why.
Someone repped Supreme in here. Did no one?
Berserk had the Supreme North Face collab.
See, this is gas.
Gore-Tex jacket. Whoa,
wait a second. What is that? A romper? A romper's back?
I've got a Supreme jacket, and it's kind of annoying because people be like, bro, how much you pay for that whenever you're skiing? And it's like, it's really like there's Patagonia, like non-branded jackets for, I'm not even kidding you, $1,000 just straight up. And I'm not sharing anything good while I'm talking. But yeah, they like, at the end of the day, a good snowboarding jacket costs somewhere between $500 and $700, and I spent $600 on mine, and it's been the best jacket ever. So I unfortunately would buy it again, but it is hard.
I mean, yeah, I have 600. Everyone has their thing that they kind of like. I have $600 cologne, but that has lasted me for like 4 years at least, and I'm like a fourth of the way through the bottle. I remember walking through like Nordstrom Rack or something in STL, and there was a Burberry collared shirt that I think was like $150, and I was like, "This is so gas," but I don't think I could pull the trigger on this.
My last two colognes I've gotten for Christmas, and I've broken both within 3 days of.
No,
yeah, that's fodder.
Dude, yeah, let's get
wow.
Supreme Burberry t-shirts just for us and put the Wingin It logo on them.
That would be oh my god.
That would go hard.
Yeah, Gucci.
Let's just do what Supreme did. We'll steal their logo like Louis when they stole Louis. Louis sued them for everything. And then after like 6 years later, Louis was like, hey, wait, low key, like you guys want to collab now? Like,
I've always liked I think it's Grant Zellers who has the Louis Vuitton wallet, which I love, but then it's just like, how long are we still going to be having wallets in this day and age? It was like, so there we go. All right, I love it. Yeah,
that's my high fashion. I don't like taunting it because people be like, oh, look at this high roller, and I'm like, honestly, it's just I've had it for like 9 years now, and it's been the best wallet ever.
Yeah, so. I think it's so sexy too. Like, fuck people. That's a great ass wallet.
More likely to get stolen though.
Good point. Yeah, like you would probably flip if that like fell out of your pants or something.
And it
like
has,
that's the thing.
Freak out.
Okay, wait a second. Since we're showing off products, I do have to tell you about it's show and tell over here in the Wingin It headquarters, bro. The Apple over-the-head AirPod Maxes are the coolest fucking thing I own. First of all, this case is fire. Like, so visual audience. So noise canceling headphones. It's like got a spongy material, soft on the head, so it doesn't like it's so comfortable. Completely wireless, dude. I can't even explain it. So it has a button that you press that completely noise cancels. Like you can't, like it's Kelsey will be standing next to me. And she sounds like a robot squeaking like Alvin the Chipmunks. You press a button and you just hear clear as day through your earbuds. Like it noise cancels and then lets it through. And I have no idea the physics of how that's possible.
That's wild. Do they get like pretty loud too? Like if you want to.
Oh yeah, sound quality is exceptional.
How much were they?
It was like I think it was like $400. Like Kelsey didn't even know. A lot of people said they didn't even know they had those. But I was yeah, I was kind of in the because Kelsey ran over this. I still have to use this for recording, but I was in the market for new headphones, and I was like, wait a second, didn't they do that? Best purchase I made.
The only reason I wouldn't get those is I don't think I'd like running or going to the gym with like
sweating. Yeah. The reason I like them is for like production and listening to music just in my office, and then going through airports, which I do a lot. And like that and like being on an airplane, and you can actually, cause it gets super loud with like AirPods, with all the engines and shit. This is just like prime.
I will say I have like the newest version of the AirPods, and the noise canceling feature on there is even pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Which I didn't have. And Apple's just killing the game in every single product category. I can't even believe it.
Are they, Dorta, you got those pros, like the squishy ones?
Yeah, I got those too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to you guys more because the AirPods like normal don't like they fall out of my ears.
So much better than the ones that aren't squishy. They fit so much better.
See, my ears, I'm like the opposite. That's like a phenomenon where like some people can't do the regular earbuds, like they fall out. I'm the opposite. I can't have them sticking in there. They fall out.
Oh yeah, no. See, but my only bone to pick with Apple is my left one. It won't charge anymore. So I don't know if it's broken or what. So I'm going Friday to see if they can fix it. And if not, I'm probably just going to buy a new pair because I like them so much.
Last thing for me, I don't know if it came out or maybe it'll be tomorrow. I cut up a funny ass clip of Brennan totally spoiling the Alpinist from the last episode we did. It's funny as fuck. I watched the Alpinist. Holy shit. Crazy. Visually stunning. I don't know how people do that. I get, it's the adventure, but, and then, spoiler alert, since everyone already knows, but he just died away from off camera doing something so simple. Like he was
going down a mountain, or he was going back down, wasn't he?
With a rope on, and an avalanche just knocked him out. Like, good God.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the part where he climbs the frozen waterfall is absolutely absurd to me. Like, what even makes you think about doing that?
As it's dripping, like as climate change is literally like half of it's a grassland, and he's still, that like I thought Free Solo is crazy, and this is that guy on steroids, climbing waterfalls. Yeah, it was stunning.
Loki, a buddy took me up one of the better hikes in Colorado, and we climbed a water. You have to climb through a waterfall to like at the last stage, I guess. And what we're talking about is like 10 feet up max, and it's a nice slope, but there's still running water. And I was just thinking when you said that, I was like, dude, I wonder if it freezes over and people go up there then, but it's probably too high anyways.
I've been to, like, I think it was Devil's Tower in Wyoming, close to Rapid City, where that's like a huge climbing spot area where like people have died. Yeah, I'll never get it though. I think my brother he belongs to a rock climbing gym. Maybe he's the next guy. That guy did remind me of my brother. He was, you know, just he was like a free spirit. It was crazy. He was just one with the mountain.
Who did you recently post when you were playing golf with? Because I swear it was like, I don't know. Basically, it looked like double of you on the golf course.
Yeah, my brother with repping. Oh yeah, that's my brother. Yeah, I was talking that shit. He came to play this week down in Florida. Nice little par 3 course on the island. It was sensational. I had my best 9 ever. We're getting close on the road to 80. All right, we're on the road to the Tee with Jack D here on Wingin' It. As I just caught you mid vape pull. I'm sorry.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
All right. So speaking of Miami Beach has declared a state of emergency because of all the spring break chaos.
Dude, it was 4 hours from me. I flew into Fort Myers, and my parents had the car because they drove down. I was like, would I drive over there? And I'm glad I didn't, because it's just a war zone now, which is crazy.
Yeah, the shit show. Mike Tyson says he would fight Jake Paul for $1 billion. I wonder if anyone could ever put that on or fund that.
Yeah, what? It's like an owner. It's like Derek Jeter gonna have to get an ownership group just to watch Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, totally fight.
$1 billion. Oh my god, get real.
Didn't Derek Jeter just
he cashed out?
Yeah. He stepped down as the CEO.
He invested 25 mil and worked, so made money and then cashed out basically 1 for 1 because the Marlins have not succeeded in South Florida forever.
Yeah. Wow. People are calling out Netflix. I actually got called out by Netflix the other day because we used Drew Ellis's Netflix on our living room TV. Ooh. And they're starting to kick people. And it says that $5.50 a month at a third screen, and people are going back and pulling receipts on Netflix because they used to tweet back in the day like sharing is, or love is sharing a password and stuff like that. And
that's crazy because it's they started as mailing you CD. My mom was trying for taxes. She was like, "Hey, yeah, didn't we sign your house? They give you a CD." I was like, "They gave me a CD-ROM." I was like, "There's no way for me to even plug that into my laptop. What do you mean they gave me a CD?" But they used to email you DVDs and now they're publicly traded. They're $100 million or $100 stock price. And then it's kind of wait, subscriber growth slows. Okay, where's our money? Now they got to crack down. They're like, well, wait a second. We're losing so much money on being so kind of, lackadaisical with everyone just shelling out their passwords.
Yeah, that's going to cause issues because I know people have had other people's Netflix who they don't even talk to anymore for
right.
years.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about this, so Darian pays for her Netflix but shares it with her family, and her dad's got the HBO or whatever. And
yeah.
I was like, well, it's not like they're not in our family, but they are in a different location. So are they about to actually be beefing about all that? I don't know. We'll see.
I think it's each profile, if depending on if you get it, you could get a family package where it's up to 4 profiles or whatever.
Many college kids are about to be out of streaming.
Yeah, they're all cracking down because Brendan and I split YouTube TV with 2 people in St. Louis, and it still works in our living room, but I got kicked in my bedroom because it says I'm not in St. Louis. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
I think my Xbox for that, I'm cautious to talk about this actually, but I have such an old Xbox that it can't seem to locate where my Xbox is. So while I've been in Colorado, it's been so awesome. And then same thing, like I moved down here and there's just like it doesn't know. And I've turned off all
It's like, where are you taking me? The
Yeah,
GPS is not ready for it.
I never get those, but if I like log into my iPhone, I get those things like on YouTube TV that it's like, hey, are you traveling or is this your account? Did you
Right.
move? And I'm like, holy shit, guys, come on.
It's
now.
so funny. I like First Take is all First Take is now, or ESPN is just to be on in gyms and restaurants. Like that's their ratings now. It's so funny just like watching a broadcast on mute of First Take and it's all this graphics in your face. Swipe the QR code now and watch on demand. And I can imagine these old people just like, what? Like clicking their clickers or adjusting their goddamn, rabbit ears.
Yeah, wild. Based on analysis of average yearly growth trends, Elon Musk trillionaire by 2024. First trillionaire ever.
You said Elon Musk is?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Pretty crazy.
Good for him. I was looking up. I want to make the move to electric so bad, just because like everyone's making electric now. Why not? Gas prices are killing me. My dad is like, no one's buying Teslas. We were literally at a resort that had a Tesla charging station in Florida. I was like, you see this shit? I was looking up the prices and like, or just because I never looked at Tesla's website before. It's not listed the price, but that fucking like Batmobile truck he drives, that's gonna come to market eventually, I would think, in like 10 years.
Wait, are you talking about the Cybertruck?
The Cybertruck,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I thought it already is on the market.
People have ordered them.
Yeah,
really? Okay, maybe I saw an outdated article. So what are those going for? Are those like half? That's got to be the most expensive one.
I think so. I don't know how expensive they are, but I know they are expensive. But I'm sure if you get like, I forget like which models are like which model is which, but if you like sports mode like fully fucking vamped up, those get. And I mean,
see, I just need something that's decent in the snow. Like we've kind of talked about this, Alex, is like, because I would have it in Minneapolis. So it's like I would want an electric vehicle and I like a Tesla because it's cool. And, and they're probably the nicest EV on the market. But the Cybertruck would probably be for me. But, that's a pipe dream a decade or two away.
Dude, I don't know about that because I just quick research again, but I think their goal is to hit this thing like, all right, so when you buy a truck, right, you buy like either two rear wheel drive truck, or you buy like an extra 20K worth to get the 4-wheel drive thing. But they were saying like the 2-wheel is supposed to start somewhere around like in the 30s. That's their goal. But then like what Brennan was saying, you soup it up a little bit, the truck's starting at 70K, and then I'm sure the sky's the limit.
See, I think that's so sexy. People are gonna be like, who's that tool bag, rolling up on the stop sign? But God, I don't know, something about it. They're growing on me.
I'm in the same boat though, where me and Dee are thinking about like she's got a perfect, more efficient car, not my truck. And basically we're talking about trying to either buy Tesla or another electric vehicle for this commute, but we'll see.
Right. Because I think it was like Porsche, or like all the supercars are starting to go all EV, which is nuts. McLaren, etc.
A little fun fact: who's into F1?
Fringely, okay. I should be into it more. It's super popular.
I don't dislike it, but I just don't follow it really.
Sure. Yeah, I get you. Like it's not. I don't follow it religiously by any means, but I do watch the races, and so the Formula One is a big thing, but they've created Formula E for electric, and Volvo actually is just like probably at the top of the line with it. Really? Them and a Chinese company paired up, and they're unreal. So what they say is what wins on Sunday sells on Monday. So I could see in the next like 5 years a serious like impact to the market.
Interesting. What did Brad always say? The world's safest car, his Volvo. He used the whip.
Volvo XC90 was, yeah.
The world's safest car. Stuff. All right, let's get back to sipping some tea here.
Okay, the Maury show, like the dude who has all like "You're Not the Father" is coming to an end after 31 years. They finally canceled it.
Wow. I can only imagine. What channel is that down in Dallas? Yeah, the cable.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even know that was still on. Okay, Big Macs are reselling for over $40 a Mac in Russia.
because McDonald's stopped serving in Russia, right?
Yeah.
I would pay for that.
Like Cheeseburger Eddie from The Longest Yard.
I got fries and across your eyes.
Vladimir trying to sell you a Big Mac for $40.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
I know that this is kind of tone deaf, but I've been really wanting a like Adidas tracksuit for a little bit now.
Those things go hard.
Yes.
We should get Wingin It ones. That'd be fun. That's strictly what we wear on our Wingin It trip.
I'm down.
All right. 4 Florida men got arrested because they hacked a gas station's pumps and people were getting gas for pennies. Like
Wow.
Gallons for pennies. So
That's a heady
shout
play.
out them, honestly, but I mean they got popped.
Free them.
Yeah. All right. So the Ukraine President Zelensky, their Netflix is now streaming his show that he was on before he became president, where he played the president of Ukraine.
Wow. I almost want to check it out, but I also do not want to wait. I just imagine it's god awful.
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
It's just a different it's like a different language, kind of just like Days of Our Lives.
And it's like satire comedy, so they probably might have a different sense.
But I don't know, like British TV's like Faulty Towers, The British Office, like who knows? Maybe it's a work of art.
British baking shows, fire.
All these foreign, directors coming over making gas. We're foreign films winning our awards.
Yeah,
who knows?
Speaking of movies, Amazon has officially acquired MGM Studios for $8.5 billion.
We got to do a new core trades here shortly. I was going to, crazy headlines because that's going to get them. Oh, so they just got the studios. I was thinking, does that get them their betting enterprise too? Like there's a lot of stuff they could do with MGM.
Yeah. It says MGM as a whole, but it just shows it was
for $8.5 billion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they get into the betting game, that's crazy on top of their studios.
Yeah, wild. So it was first free Britney, then it was free Amanda Bynes. Her conservativeship has officially been terminated. So they're just
Amanda Bynes?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
She deserved more publicity. Everyone was like, nah. Everyone's
She's
like,
had
all
a
right.
rough 10 years for sure.
Huh.
She looks a lot different now. But
Poor girl.
this is kind of crazy.
Free Moody.
One of Young Thug's baby mamas was found shot and killed outside of an Atlanta bowling alley.
Atlanta. That was tone
Did he-
deaf.
Did he order the hit?
I don't know. I don't. Apparently, she got in an altercation at the bowling alley, but I mean, who knows? Wild.
That's fucked up.
Jeff Bezos' ex-wife is donating $436 million to Habitat for Humanity.
She's the GOAT. Like
Yeah.
she's just, giving all this money back, and Bezos is, blowing 26 mil per space flight.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Stormy Daniels must pay $300K to Donald Trump after losing defamation case appeal, and she says, "I will go to jail before I ever pay him a penny."
She might be in jail soon.
I feel like she'll definitely pay before she goes to jail.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fuck with. That's like the few people you'd want to mess with, like litigiously, if that's what I'm thinking.
No, exactly.
Trump.
Yeah.
That or Daniel Schneider.
Wells Fargo in more hot water. They rejected, their data came out and they rejected nearly half of their African American homeowners refinancing applications.
Okay, is it like, I don't know anything about this. Maybe Dorte does because you work in more financial stuff, but did they also post maybe why half, or is it just like, is that the
I mean, I'm
So
sure
it's
it's
a
definitely slightly taken like a little bit out of context, maybe if I had to guess, just like anything else that's reported is, but I have no clue. I don't really get how like refinancing applications go.
I'm actually I started rewatching The Big Short. Like I rented it just because it had been a while since I'm watched. So it's just fascinating to rewatch it. And like
It's sick.
God, it was. I want to interview my mom about this, but I remember vividly as a kid because she had those hearings that they had where the Senate. And it's just like, and now I'm starting to realize how many dipshits are in the Senate. You know, it's just like, okay, these are just, you know, this is just a weird kid in high school who apparently liked politics. But I went back, I found the video of her just getting like reprimanded by like this old white guy senator out of Kentucky was just, you know, because I think about how hard it was as my mom trying to be a powerful woman growing up in the early 2000s, where it was like that was just when women were getting positions of power, but men were still just like berating them. Like this guy was just tooth and nail picking apart my mom in front of a panel. And so I'm going back to see how The Big Short kind of depicted that. But I would imagine that's why, because of the financial crisis, that Wells Fargo can't just hand them out like candy like they were before, all those companies.
Yeah, I think a better way to look at that would just be to see how other companies, how many, like what percentage of refinance applications, you know, they rejected as well.
Yeah. It just feels like a very out of context thing, in my opinion, but I don't know shit. So
I say that because I used to work for Wells Fargo, and my experience for them is like anything that out of context that people can find to like get on Wells Fargo's case about, they will.
Right.
All right. This is just like how stupid you have to be. In North Carolina, someone dropped their dog Fezco off at the shelter because it humped another male dog, so it thought it was gay.
So fucking dumb, dude.
And its name was Fezco.
And of course it was in Florida.
That's
like,
awesome.
I'm glad that dog got a new home. Like,
yeah, no kidding.
Like,
I started worrying that like they're beating his ass because he humps another dog as a puppy, and it's like that's how they play and like show dominance, and like you said, how dumb do you got to be?
How dumb do you have to be?
Yeah, I mean,
like
the
it's
dog,
almost like it's
like I've had a dog like attack my leg. Like, I mean,
I had a rabbit that, I mean, like before that, he probably wasn't even, you know, neutered. It's like, you know, that's just like that's just how people, that's how a dog goes through puberty. Goes, nope, that's not in my house.
That's how I go through puberty, dude. I wanted to hump everything too.
Yeah, like, dude, dogs hump fucking fire hydrants.
Oof.
It's very dumb.
No, we're back.
Okay, we're on to cool movies and suggestions. I didn't even know this was coming out, but there's a series on Paramount Plus, a like 8-episode thing, and it's called The Offer, and it's about, I didn't even know this was a big drama or story, but it's about how like Francis Ford Coppola, when he was pitching The Godfather, what his whole journey of going studio to studio.
Oh wow!
And like getting the best offer on it, and it looks pretty sweet. So
what was it called?
The Offer. And yeah, it's never before revealed experiences on making The Godfather. So that it's kind of like a Pam and Tommy, like a.
Oh my god! I binged Pam and Tommy. It was fantastic.
I finished it. I actually finished it last night. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, good actors. The story. I mean, there was a couple episodes, like 5 episodes would have been perfect, but it just gave me a look at the '90s. So I was, you know, I was like, holy shit, you know.
Yeah, like when Tommy Lee's trying to like type in like www dot on a computer.
Oh yeah, all these people. Hey, it's the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
Like, what? Hey, it's an NFT. What? Yeah, just wait.
All right, this probably won't affect you guys as much as it affected me, but. Official news today that National Treasure 3 is no longer being made. Pretty hard.
God damn it.
Nicolas Cage said it was because of Fairweather Friends, and he said, when I talk about Fairweather Friends in Hollywood, I'm not talking about Jerry Bruckheimer, I'm talking about Disney. So I guess him and Disney got into it.
Beef.
Do you guys ever hear the
wrong
book
guy
that
cross?
Do you know like the Dan Brown book that they kind of took the basis of the National Treasure from?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to tell you more. It's not that exciting, but they took the idea of this book I read back in the day, which if you like National Treasure, you should read the book.
I would love to read it.
Yeah,
I love National Treasure. Okay, what else do we have? We already talked about Batman on coming to HBO. New Jackass on Paramount Plus, and we are getting closer to about a month from now is the final season of Ozark.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the Jack D selections of the week. We've got our tea in the books with Jack D as well. I just got the breaking news from the New York Times. President Biden has quietly assembled a team to determine how to respond if Russia were to unleash chemical or biological or nuclear weapons.
Good.
That's fucked.
Great.
Is it good that they're called the Tiger Team? Huh? That'll do it for us here on Wingin' It. Shout out to our guy Austin Platts, who we're going to miss over the next couple of months. Advancing in his career as an engineer, he's got to study up big for his test, so obviously free time at the minimum. We appreciate all three of these guys, everyone's time, and obviously you, the listener. We'll talk to you next week.